Iman Shumpert's story, as it has unfolded in public view, is not merely a tale of scrutiny or scandal. It is a quiet study of trust, secrecy, and the fragile boundaries that exist in intimate relationships. For years, the perception of his marriage was that of stability, a partnership that seemed to weather the pressures of public life with ease. Yet, beneath that surface, there were patterns, choices, and behaviors that remained unseen, small fissures accumulating into something far more consequential. At the center of this, Teyana Taylor, his former partner, reached a point where the weight of protection became unbearable. She had carried the responsibility of shielding another person's reputation, of concealing uncomfortable truths, and of maintaining a facade that left little room for her own voice. According to reports, her decision to release a tape, to speak, to confront the silence, marked a turning point not just for her, but for the narrative that surrounded them both. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The aftermath of that decision was immediate, stark, and relentless. Social media erupted, a torrent of commentary and speculation. But beneath the noise, there lies a subtler reality, the impact of betrayal, the erosion of trust, and the quiet reckoning that follows when someone you once relied upon begins to fracture the world you built together. Allegations suggest that Shumpert's relationships extended beyond what had been publicly acknowledged, encompassing interactions and dynamics that challenged the understanding of those who observed from the outside. The life he projected, meticulously curated and visible, was only a fragment of a larger, more complex existence. A private life lived in parallel, leaving those closest to him to navigate the shadows left in its wake. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Timing, as often happens, played a critical role. Teyana had begun to reconstruct her own life, moving carefully through the aftermath of her separation and the emotional turbulence of a recent breakup with another partner, Aaron Pierre. She had found a rhythm of quiet, of private resilience, a space to process her own vulnerability. And yet, in this fragile period, interactions with Shumpert, moments of ridicule, perceived disrespect, and unspoken tension appeared to have become unbearable. The collision of past loyalty with present hurt created a moment of reckoning. The decision to speak, to reveal what had been concealed for so long, was not made lightly. It was a response to years of suppressed truth, a culmination of quiet anguish, and the recognition that silence could no longer contain the consequences of another's choices. In this unfolding story, there is a somber exploration of human fragility and accountability. The public may focus on the sensational elements, the claims, the leaks, the speculation, but there is, beneath that, an examination of the cost of secrecy, the erosion of trust, and the toll it takes on those who attempt to carry the weight of another person's actions. It is a narrative of restraint and reflection, where the most telling moments are often those left unsaid, where the gravity of decisions lingers long after words have been spoken, and where the line between public perception and private reality is measured in quiet, often invisible, emotional consequences. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. When Teyana Taylor finally chose to speak, it was not a statement delivered lightly or casually. The accounts suggest she began to reveal, with deliberate clarity, layers of a life that had long been obscured. Details that had existed quietly, unseen by those who only observed from the outside, were brought into the light. What had once been hidden in plain sight began to take shape, forming a narrative that challenged not just perceptions, but the assumptions of trust and intimacy. The stories emerging were not sensational for entertainment's sake. They were the reflections of long-suppressed truths, of experiences carried in silence, and of the emotional labor of concealing another person's choices for years. Reports indicate that this was the culmination of enduring strain, of boundaries repeatedly tested, and of personal limits finally reached. Teyana, who had borne the weight of protecting someone else's reputation, allegedly reached a breaking point. The actions that followed, speaking, exposing, asserting herself, were not merely reactive. They were, in a sense, an assertion of agency, reclaiming of space that had long been ceded to loyalty and fear. Among the claims circulating were details that complicated even further the understanding of her former partner, suggesting relationships and patterns that extended beyond what had been visible to those around them. Allegedly, these entanglements were not limited to a single type of connection, but spanned multiple, overlapping relationships, forming a pattern that had persisted quietly over time. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The context of vulnerability cannot be understated. Teyana had moved on, attempting to rebuild her life after the dissolution of their marriage and the end of a subsequent relationship. Yet, the accounts suggest that interactions with Shumpert, moments of ridicule, pointed remarks, and emotional disregard reopened old wounds. The quiet endurance of prior years of covering, defending, and protecting collided with the reality of being exposed to humiliation when one is already fragile. The culmination of these tensions, the repeated betrayals, and the long accumulation of unspoken grievances reportedly compelled her to break that silence. The claims describe a scope of personal behavior that reaches further than previously understood, encompassing patterns that were ongoing rather than isolated, and shaping the emotional and psychological landscape of those involved. Teyana's decision to speak, by these accounts, was not motivated by malice, but by the necessity of confronting truths that could no longer remain concealed. The act of disclosure, therefore, becomes less a matter of spectacle and more a study in endurance, consequence, and the subtle but profound weight of years lived in the shadow of another's choices. Reports from those close to the situation suggest that Shumpert, at certain points, made remarks that were deeply dismissive of Teyana Taylor's worth and her capacity to be seen or valued. Allegedly, he implied she would never find a genuine partner, a comment that, once it reached her ears, as information often does, became a turning point. The accounts imply that this was not simply words spoken in passing, but a breach of respect layered over years of complex dynamics, the kind of remark that can reopen old wounds and shift the balance of long-held restraint. The decision she reportedly made to respond by revealing truths that had been concealed for so long was not sudden, but the culmination of sustained emotional strain, frustration, and the erosion of trust. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. According to her statements, the patterns of behavior that had remained hidden were extensive. Allegedly, the relationship Shumpert engaged in went beyond what anyone outside their immediate circle could have imagined. More than half of the encounters, she said, involved men. Some unfolded openly, in spaces where they could have been noticed yet remained unnoticed, hidden in plain sight, their significance obscured by perception and assumption. The realization, for those who had believed in the stability of their marriage, became a confrontation with the limits of understanding and with the ways appearances can mask complex realities. The situation became more visible to the public when a woman posted photographs that, at first glance, seemed innocuous. Yet, with the second image, recognition became immediate. The chain she wore, unmistakably belonging to Shumpert, made the connection undeniable. At the time, Teyana stepped forward to address the situation. She framed the images in a context intended to preserve the narrative she had long maintained, emphasizing that they were already separated and that infidelity had not caused their split. Her public voice was measured, defensive, protective, a shield against assumptions, and a reflection of her continued effort to contain the story. Later, she admitted that her initial statements were not truthful. The explanation was simple, yet profound. She had lied to protect someone else, to carry the weight of another's reputation at the cost of her own voice. As more disclosures emerged, it became clear that those past defenses were part of a pattern of concealment. In this light, the images, the statements, and the public narrative were all reframed not as deliberate deception for attention, but as acts of preservation, survival, and the quiet cost of loyalty. Even the individuals involved in those moments, such as the woman in the images, became part of a broader and more complex story. According to Teyana, this was not a singular instance, but part of recurring behavior, a pattern that extended across time, relationships, and context. Every revelation, every detail, carried weight far beyond the surface, revealing the psychological toll, the erosion of certainty, and the subtle, often unseen consequences of decisions made in the shadow of secrecy. The impact on Teyana Taylor, both emotional and physical, appears to have been profound. Accounts suggest that carrying the weight of knowledge of choices made by someone she trusted, of behavior she may have felt powerless to confront, took a significant toll. Living with that tension, navigating the strain of appearances versus reality, and attempting to maintain composure under scrutiny, the reports imply, affected her in ways that went far beyond what the public could see. Observers have connected these pressures to a past medical emergency, framing a subtle but real picture of the consequences that prolonged stress and emotional labor can impose. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Adding to the complexity, a former assistant came forward with claims that quickly spread across social media. The assistant spoke of a mysterious NBA wife, suggesting that the stress of infidelity had led to hospitalization and further connected disruptions to professional obligations, including a canceled concert allegedly linked to substance issues. The statements prompted immediate speculation, with attention turning toward Teyana. She responded swiftly, labeling the narratives as false, threatening legal action, and firmly denying the accusations related to drugs. Her response, calm but resolute, indicated a desire to reclaim control over the narrative while protecting both herself and those around her. Yet the public discourse, as is often the case, rarely captures the full nuance of such situations. Some reports now suggest that these denials did not fully encompass the private reality. Allegedly, the pressures stemming from complex and repeated entanglements contributed, at some point, to her use of substances, a reality that complicates earlier explanations and points to the intricate interplay of vulnerability, stress, and coping mechanisms. It is a reminder that the consequences of intimate betrayals extend beyond the visible, manifesting in ways that are rarely linear or fully understood. The history between Teyana and Shumpert adds further context. At one point, they had acknowledged having an open marriage, describing arrangements that invited others into their private lives as a way to maintain excitement. Public interpretation of this was limited, assuming these interactions involved only women. But with additional reports, the assumptions are being re-examined. The boundaries of perception, the private realities behind curated appearances, and the complexity of human desire all intersect in ways that often defy simplistic explanations. Even seemingly peripheral events, such as social media deletions or rumors, carry layers of meaning. At one juncture, speculation arose about a potential pregnancy, and Teyana temporarily removed herself from public platforms. Fans constructed narratives, weaving assumptions into the visible gaps, yet she returned with an alternative explanation, attributing her absence to delays in a music project. The denial of pregnancy rumors was definitive, yet questions lingered, intensified by new claims suggesting that, contrary to public belief, the individuals brought into their private spaces may not have involved women at all. Allegedly, men were the primary participants, reshaping understanding of a narrative that had long been framed in one dimension. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. This web of events stretches back years, intersecting with other figures and raising questions that have persisted quietly in the background. Among them, Kyrie Irving emerges in past discussions, tied to allegations that extend to 2015. Reports suggest encounters involving men, including purported threesomes, in which Irving was allegedly named as a participant. The connections, old and resurfacing, complicate the public understanding, challenging assumptions about relationships, secrecy, and the ways that private actions ripple outward, long after the moments themselves have passed. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. There are accounts of a confrontation at the Four Seasons Hotel, a situation that, while brief in duration, has had enduring implications. A woman reportedly described being invited into a private encounter, only to find another figure, Kyrie Irving, present without her consent. According to her account, the refusal to participate led to a physical altercation, an event that lingered in whispers long after it occurred. What followed, some suggest, was a persistence that extended beyond a single moment, an insistence on involvement that amplified the tension and raised questions about boundaries, consent, and the private lives of those involved. These accounts have intersected with long-standing speculation about Shumpert and Irving, speculation that had circulated quietly in the background for years. Public perception had long assumed a certain narrative that their relationship was one of friendship, camaraderie, or simple association, but the resurfacing of these stories reframes that assumption. Shumpert has, at times, addressed rumors indirectly, never issuing a full and definitive denial. It is in that ambiguity, the silence between statements, that doubt persists and speculation continues to take root. The statements, or the lack thereof, allowed a narrative to form in the spaces left vacant by clarity. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The emergence of Teyana Taylor's claims has shifted the context once again. Details once relegated to rumor now carry additional weight, prompting a reevaluation of what had been previously dismissed or overlooked. Her disclosures, framed by years of silence and protection, cast long shadows over past statements, challenging assumptions and inviting reflection on the limits of perception. What may have seemed trivial or improbable gains a new dimension when examined through the lens of sustained loyalty, long-held concealment, and the subtle consequences of unacknowledged truths. The intensity of the public reaction, the way whispers transformed into widespread attention, can be traced, in part, to the years Teyana spent shielding him. She bore emotional costs, public scrutiny, and private strain, while simultaneously upholding a facade that allowed someone else's choices to go largely unchallenged. Yet when the balance shifted, when she felt mocked, disrespected, or diminished, the protective veil was withdrawn. In that moment, silence was replaced by disclosure, and the private tensions of years became a public reckoning. What began as fragmented stories, speculation, and rumor has now coalesced into a more tangible perception. Fans revisit old interviews, photographs, and social media posts with renewed scrutiny, attempting to reconcile appearances with the emerging narrative. Shumpert may choose to respond, to deny, or to ignore what is unfolding, but the perception of the public, once altered, is difficult to restore. And in this space, the story is no longer simply about private choices. It is about the unseen weight of loyalty, the consequences of prolonged silence, and the ways in which personal actions reverberate far beyond the individuals involved. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos.